Hey guys, welcome back to JD's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making some delicious soy milk. This is very healthy and is plant based. Okay, so we start by picking every dirt out of our soy milk. Most times you find stones like what I just showed you guys, so you want to go ahead and pick it thoroughly. After that, you wash it under running water, wash it, pour out the water, rinse it one more time, and then you can now go ahead to soak your beans. Okay, so I went ahead to soak my beans overnight, roughly about 12 hours of soaking. The next morning I woke up, opened up my beans, and the size, it had increased in size. That's the individual beans. You would see that they are swollen, like the quantity has increased. And then you realize that it's easy to take out the skin of the beans, which I am not going to do. Some people like to do that, but I don't see the need, because if you have a good blender, you just need to blend everything, and then you use your cloth to strain out the milk from the chaff. Okay, so for me, I am not going to waste any time trying to take out the skin of these beans. I will just wash it out, ensure that I take out all the foamy water, rinse my beans again thoroughly, and then pop it into my blender. Now, the amount of water you want to put, I'm just going to give you guys like an estimate. So when you have your beans like this, you want to put the water such that it doubles the quantity of beans that you have. So you want to ensure that the water you're using for blending is way above the beans. Okay, and I'll show you guys the consistency you're looking at achieving when you are trying to make your soy milk. The beans is very thick, is milky. My blender did such a good job. So as you can see, I have blended it. Now I'm using my whisk to mix it together, and I am going to come in with 1 more liter of water, because the consistency that you need, it needs to be runny when you're trying to strain the chaff from the milk. So I just go ahead to add more water as I continue to whisk. So you want to go ahead to use your chiffon cloth to strain out the milk from the chaff. You guys can see how creamy it looks. It looks so good. So you're just going to ensure that your hands are thoroughly washed, or maybe you can put on gloves if you have any. If not, you can wash your hands really good with soap. Okay, and ensure that you rinse it thoroughly before you start handling the milk. You don't want to contaminate your milk in any way. So I went ahead to start straining the milk from the chaff. You guys can see how thick it is. So I think one of the things that happens is that sometimes when you're blending your beans, you're scared of adding water because you're thinking your milk is going to be running. But you also have to remember that this milk, these beans produces, is thick. Okay, when you blend it, it comes out thick, and the moment you allow it to rest for a bit, it starts to swell, it starts to rise, and it becomes even thicker. So you want to just add in water and monitor as you go. So you want to keep on whisking it and adding water before you start doing the process of straining out the milk from the chaff. So I repeated this process over and over until I was done with my entire beans paste, okay, to extract the milk from it. So I did it over and over. Then after I was done doing it, I took the chaff again and washed it. You guys are going to see that. So when I was done washing, I was done straining the milk from the chaff, I realized that the chaff still had potential to produce more milk. Okay, but at this point you don't want to put in too much water. So I just came in with about half a liter of water, and then as I was pouring the water, I was whisking and just mixing the chaff together. And then I'm going to come again with my cloth, and I'm going to strain yet again. You can see how milky it is. So the chaff still had a lot of milk. Okay, so I came in with my cloth and I strained out the milk from the chaff. And after this, I didn't wash the chaff anymore. That was okay. If you keep on washing it, you're going to now realize that you're going to be left with very light, watery kind of milk, and it's not really going to be milk. It's going to be more of water. Okay, so once you do it the second time, for some people they might not even want to do it the second time because they want that really thick consistency. But you can see that the second time that I've washed my chaff still produce really silky, smooth, thick milk. Okay, so just to ensure that my milk is actually very smooth, I'm going to run it through my cloth once or twice, depending on how I see it, depending on how I see the chaff that will come out this second time. Okay, so this is the entire milk that I've just washed from the two batches of washing. I don't know if you guys get what I'm trying to explain. So this is the milk that came out of it, and I am running this milk again through my cloth, just to ensure that I do not have chaff. And I'm going to do this again. You can do it maybe 2-3 times, whichever you prefer. And what will direct you to do it again will be the quantity of chaff that you're going to see on your cloth once you're done squeezing it out. So you guys can see that at this point there was literally no chaff, so it was smooth. My milk was as smooth as I would have wanted it to be, and that was a good sign. So you go ahead now and you pour it in a pot and you boil it. You are not leaving these pots and going to do something somewhere. You're going to have to be in your kitchen mixing it, ensuring that it doesn't get burnt. Okay, so you're going to have to stand by. When it starts boiling, you mix it. You have to mix it at intervals, very close intervals, like every other minute you have to mix it. If not, it's going to start burning at the bottom and you don't want that. Okay, so you just keep on stirring. At some point you realize that there's just going to be this thick layer. There's just going to be this surface thing that you can actually remove with the spoon. For now it was just still foamy. I was taking out some of the foam when it was becoming a lot, but at some point there's going to be like a thick layer. You can actually hold it with your hand. It will feel like a cloth. I don't know what they call that. Maybe I should do a little bit of research to know, but if you know, drop it in the comment section. It's just going to be floating on the pot of milk, and I'm going to go ahead and take it out. This is what I'm talking about. It's still forming. Once you see it forming, you know that okay, your milk is getting ready for you to turn off the cooker. I have cooked this milk for about 40 minutes in total, and at this point I started seeing that thing coming up on the milk a lot. Okay, and then I'm going to turn off the gas and then allow it to get cool. As it was cooling down, more of this thing was coming out at the top. I keep calling it this thing. Let's go and do research to find the name. Anyways, yeah, so once my milk was cool, I came and took out that thing on the top of the milk. And then I poured my milk back into this pan. At this point it was still just warm. It wasn't very cold, it was warm. You guys, look at how thick and smooth our milk is looking like. So this is the end of our cooking. All I want to do now is to use some milk flavor. I just want to give this milk some flavor so that my kids can enjoy it. Okay, so I'm using milk flavor, and then I'm going to add some sugar. So I'm going to put the flavor, the sugar, and then I'll take a few spoons of milk, just pour it on the sugar so that everything can dissolve, and then I mix it nicely before I pour it into the entire pan of milk. And then I'll put them in bottles, refrigerate, and enjoy cold. After mixing the sugar and the flavor into my milk, I decided to just go one more time. Okay, I decided to run it through my cloth one more time, just to ensure that nothing, no particle, nothing, just to ensure that it's as smooth as I think it is. And yeah, so I did that, and once I was done, I went ahead to now put it in containers, in bottles, and I'm going to store it in my freezer. And of course, we're going to consume this when it's chilled, when it's cold. And it tasted so delicious. If you have ever tasted Nutricia, if you're in Cameroon and you have tasted Nutricia, then you have tasted soy milk, because it's the same thing. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Please do well to subscribe and tell us what you think about this recipe in the comment section. Bye.